I was actually very disappointed in this film. Number one, it's not scary. Like I don't know. Like it's just because I'm older now and like lesser things scare me. But I just felt like it wasn't scary. Did you feel that way?
Mm, yeah, no, the film wasn't scary. Like I never felt
Yeah.
like I jumped. I never felt like I can't look. You know.
Well, I mean, I don't need jump scares to scare me, but at least like make the environment scary, make like the tone, like make
Well,
things scary, but it just wasn't
they
scary to me.
they never had a built up like oh something's gonna happen.
Hmm.
It's not that type of scary.
Yeah, I feel like the partially why it wasn't that scary was because the setting wasn't as scary. Because it was like an apartment building, just one floor of the apartment.
Hmm.
There's only like a couple rooms. It's kind of hard to like put the monster somewhere and not know where the monster is. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like if it was a house, it's a little bit scary because there's a lot of areas of the house that the monster could be in.
yeah.
Like in the original films, it's a cabin that's in the woods, so it's
Hmm.
away from everybody. There's nobody else around. You're in the woods alone. It's dark, no electricity. Well, I mean, there's electricity at the place, but there's like not a lot of lights. But
You're
in the
far from home.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's a shed. There's a basement cellar. There's like other areas that are uncommon to the normal person.
hmm
So it's like it's a little bit more scary not knowing where the monster is. So that's partially why I didn't find it that scary. What more did you want from it?
I wanted to care about the characters.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
I didn't care about anybody. And even like the mom before she turned into a monster, like we didn't really know her.
I know. Like we learned a lot about the sister character, I felt
Hmm.
like, and then we didn't really spend a lot of time with the main characters. Like they made the sister the main character, but kind of felt like it should have been more focused on the family. So we learn more about the mom and the dad who left's situation,
Hmm.
and then we sympathize more with the kids,
Yeah.
and then we kind of understand their situation, and then we would care more about them.
Well, here's my thought. Like, I don't like movies that take too long to get to the action, right?
Hmm.
But I felt like this movie did the exact opposite in a bad way, where they jumped in too fast into the action.
Oh yeah, that's kind of
And so
true.
there was like no character build up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't care about any. Like, we didn't know about any of that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like this movie needed one or two more characters. We did get a little bit of the neighbors, like the I think it was the Mexican guy
The
neighbor.
fit guy, the guy that was like really fit and tall.
Yeah, so we kind of got him, but it's like we didn't know anything about him. He was just a neighbor, and then we also got the old man with the shotgun, but we didn't learn anything about these characters. They were just kind of there
Hmm.
and kind of just like fodder to be killed off. But
Yeah.
I feel like we should have learned more about them, and we care about them, and they're like they have like a cool, like quirky type of character, where like it's memorable, like maybe they're kind of funny, or like maybe the guy like likes the mom or something, or
Yeah.
something like that, where it's like okay, that's who he is. Like they know each other, they live next to each other, but it's kind of like they're just there to be killed. And I didn't like that. I feel like this movie, since like the children characters were kind of weak, it needed another character to kind of push the narrative.
Yeah. Back to kind of what I was saying. Like, I wish we knew more about the mom, like who she was before she turned,
Hmm.
and then how she changed after she turned. You
Hmm.
know, because I think the only thing I know about her is that she loved her kids.
Yeah, but it's like I don't like it when they tell you that this character loves this character. I want them to show us that this mom like loved her children. What if like they should have wrote something into the story where it's like she did this amazing thing for the kids, and then the kids find out about it after the mom turns, and then they become sad or something like that.
I don't know if I like
You
that.
don't like that
No.
idea?
So I knew that the mom loved her kids because remember when they had like the earthquake thing,
Hmm.
and they're like, "Oh, I dropped the pizza," and the mom was like, "I don't care about the pizza as long
Hmm.
as you guys are safe."
Hmm.
So I think that was the only thing that I learned about her character.
Yes, but I feel like you didn't really know what kind of relationship she had with her kids.
Yeah.
Like, did she have like a fun, like I'm a fun mom type of relationship? Did she have like a you guys do your thing, I do my thing, or like, well, like what kind of relationship they had. It was just kind of like, I'm your mom, you're my kids. And
Yeah.
that was pretty much it.
Well, you know what? Am I allowed to talk about good things about this movie?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We don't have to trash on it. Oh, but can I add one more thing? I felt like there should have been some, like one of the kids should have had like some sort of conflict with the mom or something, because I felt like they never got into like why the dad left.
I thought the dad was on a work trip. Wasn't that the story?
No, I think she divorced him. Something like
Oh
that.
yeah, that's why she was like, "Oh, mommy and daddy are gonna work things out. Like we're back together."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I felt like one of the kids should have been like more rebellious towards the mom, and that would have made more sense. Because there's always that one kid that doesn't really get along with the parent, you know?
Mhm.
And for this, it's kind of unrealistic to be like, oh, I love all my kids and all my kids are good.
But her kids are young. They're young and stupid. No offense.
No, the son's old enough to drive.
But he's dumb. That's why he opened that book.
I know, yeah, but I that's kind of what I wanted.
So back to my point. I think I do like the fact that they try to take a spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the previous one was about a group of friends. It's about like romantic relationship, like boyfriend girlfriend. So they wanted this round to be like mother and children relationship.
You're talking about the other films?
So the other one was couples because they're a bunch of friends.
Yeah, the first film was like couples and friends. The second film was like just a remake of the first, which is similar. And then the newer one was more about the brother and sister relationship. So this newer one is about the mom and the kids.
Yeah. So I kind of like that because it'll be kind of boring if it's always just friends and like, oh my god, I love this
Yeah,
person.
that's true.
You know.
Yeah, I do like how they switched it up, but honestly, kind of feel like if it were a friend group, it might have been a better movie. I don't know. That's just me?
Well, okay, I don't like the sister. Like, I don't like how the sister was incorporated into it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the weakest part of the films is the main character, quote unquote.
Why is she there in the first place?
I don't know. She just got plopped into the situation. She kind of felt out of place to me.
Yeah. I think it would have been better had, like, the mom turned, right? And then the kids were forced to go to a neighbor, and then that neighbor ends up, like, helping them. That makes more sense than trying to force a sister character in there to save the kid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted more characters, more fleshed out characters, and then also I wanted some sort of resolution with the dad and the mom. Cause like the mom just turns and she's a demon the whole movie and she never comes back ever again.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of the Evil Dead films, a lot of the main people who turn, they turn back to human for like a brief period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we didn't talk about the inconsistency of the film, which is like if someone stabs you, that turns you into a monster, but for some reason the sister didn't turn into a demon.
So
She got stabbed twice.
So something that we kind of talked about, something that we concluded, right, was that it's probably because she was pregnant. That's why she didn't turn.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because like what explanation? They didn't explain it.
So the way that it worked in the movie was that if you get hurt by the demon, then they could get inside of you. That's my perception of it. But I felt like, is that how it is with the other movies?
Yeah, so in the other films, like they stab you or something, they injure you, and then like that part of you starts to get like rotten, and it starts to like get infected, and it slowly changes you.
Okay.
And then like eventually like they turn and look at you, and then you're already a monster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that is consistent with the other movies.
Mm-hmm. But I don't like that about this film franchise. Like, how come stabbing someone turns them into
Yeah, I don't like that too. I was gonna say that.
It doesn't make sense. At least like some of their blood gets inside of you,
or like
they
if their
bite
nails
you or
dug
something.
into you.
Yeah, to be stabbed by an inanimate object and turn into a demon doesn't really make sense. Because demons possess you by the demon spirit, right? So the spirit, one spirit per body.
Yeah.
So are they saying that there's multiple spirits possessing these people, or is it just one powerful spirit that can control multiple bodies at once? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they did not do enough with the Book of the Dead. Like it was just there just to be there.
Yeah.
But like everything was on the record player, and that's what caused the demons to come.
I didn't like that.
Yeah. Or they downgraded the Book of the Dead to just being like a picture book that shows you what demon comes out.
Yeah.
And that was kind of disappointing to me. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. I wanted them to explore that book more, because in the other films they don't really explore the book. They just, you turn the pages and it just does like very bad images and of murder and stuff, you know.
So in the other movies, were there any words? Or is it just a picture
Yeah,
book?
no, in the other movies there's like words written in the book too. So like sometimes people write in them themselves like don't read it, or like
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah.
has like some other language type of writings.
So back to the book, they keep referring back to the book. Like at the end of the movie when the mom turned into like that creature with the other two kids.
Hmm.
I remember there was a scene where they flipped back to the book and it showed something similar to that.
Hmm.
So I kind of wanted someone to explain that. Like how come she transformed into it? Like what caused that?
I think there's certain like rituals in the book
Mm-hmm.
where if the demon has enough souls, then it transforms, or it brings about a bigger
Oh.
monster. So I think because it killed so many people, then it was able to transform into that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of weird because they had to combine the family to become that thing. How come the other people just got left upstairs? It's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is kind of lame. So, right before the elevator went down, everybody was a demon.
Uh-huh.
But how come when they got to the parking area, it's only three of them? How come the others just didn't
I
come
have no
out?
idea.
Right?
They just got left.
Just because you killed those three, how does that kill the demon when all of those people up there are demons?
I have no clue.
I just thought about that. That made no sense.
Yeah. I wanted more cool things that the demon does. Like, well, at the beginning where they had like that little like the intro kills, like the introductory kills. In every horror movie there's always like an initial scene where they kill some people that are not relevant to the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's what they did with this film. So the demon has like a lot of supernatural powers. Like it can read your mind, it knows your history,
Mm-hmm.
it could pretend to be like your mom, your dad, and like get into your feels and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the demon did in the beginning, where like she was reading a book and then like it was like reading it with her, even though
Oh, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So like I wanted more of that. I wanted more of like cool things that the demon knows how to like mess with your mind.
I feel like that would have made it more scary.
Yeah, that's what makes it scary to me. Like these demons that are smart and they know like how to mess with your feelings.
Like they know you're a weakness,
Yeah, they
basically.
know your weakness. They know your past, your history.
I think that first scene was the scariest thing about this movie.
What do you think that?
Like it set the mood, but the rest of the movie wasn't as scary.
Well, I was waiting for them to connect that first scene to the
Me
ending
too.
scene, but that was such a weird connection. Like that lady just lives there and then she got possessed
Yeah.
and then she went to the cabin. Like that's kind of weird. It was a very loose connection. They
Yeah.
tried to connect it, like make it all like, oh, this is gonna be important. See, what I was thinking was the one of those characters lived in that room that was locked up. You know that room that was locked up that they needed to get into to
The
go down.
emergency thing.
Yeah, the emergency exit. They
Yeah.
couldn't get into that room because it was locked up. So I thought that character lived there
But what made you think that?
because that was the only person that wasn't there, and they were going on a camping trip or whatever. So they would be gone for an extended amount of time. So that's why they locked up the room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's why I was thinking like maybe that was the connection, but it didn't seem like it too.
No, yeah.
I think what made more sense is like one of the neighbors found the book from the cabin and took it home.
Mm-hmm.
And then like one of the kids maybe has a relationship with the person or like some sort of connection with that neighbor. Maybe they sneak into the house and steal it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or like maybe that person gets infected and infects the mom or something.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense. But it's just like you're gonna find a book that's in a safe that after an earthquake. Well, it's like first of all, the kids have to go off to get pizza. There has to be an earthquake at that location. There has to be a hidden bank for some reason and then the kid has to go down a hole into a safe, search around this entire bank vault with a bunch of like
Necklaces?
yeah, a bunch of necklaces, but like there's a bunch of those compartment thingies that hold money and hold
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
valuables, you know? So you would have to check all that shit just to try to find something, you know?
Mhm.
Like I don't know what he was looking for. Like he was trying to look for money.
Can we also talk about how there was an inconsistent in the character of the son too?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a what? I don't want to be mean.
Wussy.
Yeah. But he was so brave to go down a big black hole and find that book. I don't think that plays in with his character really well.
Well, they briefly mentioned like, what if this can sell for a lot of money? Like mom might need the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a little um
See,
scene where he said that, but that wasn't even established
either.
beforehand.
Yeah.
But it kind of does make sense because like since like the dad just left, like they might feel like, oh, we need the money. I don't like how they discovered the book.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. I think it should have just been one of the neighbors had it. That would make more sense. One of the neighbors came from that first initial scene, took the book, and had it in the room, and that starts the whole thing. It's kind of like shoehorned in to just find a book that's underneath a garage in a bank vault. That's just laying there too. So the book was literally just laying on like a table.
With bugs on it.
Yeah, with like bugs crawling all over it and stuff.
Well, just a general question. Like what makes a good horror movie for you?
I think number one, you got to get the characters right. So the main character needs to be like vulnerable. They need to be like somebody that the audience relates to and that they can see themselves. Like, oh, like I know this person or like I could be that person. But they also have to have like that heroic side too, because in every horror movie, you need some heroism to defeat the monster. And then you also need a lot of good supporting characters, memorable characters, and just a good story, you know? Like I said about this film, I feel like this film lacked heart. Like it needs to have that core element where it keeps everything together. And
Yeah.
this one was trying to use the family element as their core, but it's just like I didn't feel it. I didn't feel them as a family, that they loved each other, that this person that I love is now a monster. I didn't feel that at all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I never felt like the kids were sad that they lost
Mm-hmm.
their mom.
Yeah, they just lost a dad. Now they lost a mom. You know, like I didn't feel it at all.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think it jumped too quickly into like the monster stuff, and it jumped too quickly into the kids getting infected. I think the kids should have stayed uninfected for a while,
Mhm.
and I would even like it if the sister got infected too, and then it was just the kids, and they turn into like a kids versus the monsters movie because
Yeah.
we never had that. We never had an Evil Dead movie where it's kids versus the monsters.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of interesting.
So I said the sister didn't need to be in it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Well, we didn't talk about anything we liked, but
Yeah, we did.
oh, did we? No, we
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah. Well, I kind of talked about how I like the family element.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, we briefly mentioned, and then I do like the makeup and gore effects. I think they did a good job of that. I liked the scene where like the mom crawls up into the vents and
Hmm.
like they're trying to find the mom, but then like the sister is like behind them. That was kind of scary. Yeah, but other than that, I feel like it lacked a lot of things. Disappointing. Disappointed me.
Well, I think my favorite thing about this movie is the amount of action. I felt like I was involved in the movie the whole time. Like I never felt like, oh, it's boring. So I think that's a good thing about the movie.
It was an average horror film, maybe a little slightly above average, I would say. I don't think it was as good as the other Evil Dead films, but I think if people like the other Evil Dead films, they'll probably like this one too. But it's just that for me as a fan of the others, I feel like this one didn't really live up to what I wanted.
Agree.
You've only seen the first one, right?
Yeah.
I think overall, after watching it, I gave it 7 out of 10, but I think I'm lowering it to 6 out of 10.
I gave it a 7.
So,
Yeah. It was entertaining to watch, but there's a lot of potholes.
yeah. All right.